me cast your minds back a little bit. Now, the little researcher Maye Anope, as part of our editorial, from 1992, Ebesi Anope Aye Kasei, Ghana has had about 8 successful major or general elections. Okay, from 92, Eba Babesi 2020. We've had about 5 successful presidents. Power no accessor from one party to the other. That is a fact. President Kufuor in 2000, Ebeje power free Rollins ho. Okay, after Kufuor's exit, Atambos by Ebeje power for the NDC. Fufi Antuata Okoni Krechi in 2012. John Mahama Ebe Winnie power in 2012. Etwaso. Okay, we yeno Nanado Danko Kufuor Abeje power for the new Patriotic Party. One also to us. Now, 8 years here, 8 years there. 2024 election no crucial because it is the final end game. For over almost 32 years now. NPP at 16, NDC at 16. Okay, Onva Rollins the enemy I mean, that is how it is from a year democratic dispensation from 1992. Now, in the year 1992, okay, Abraham transition from a military regime edeba a civilian government. Rollins na a president. Majority of them were calling him Chairman Rollins from the revolutionary days, Eba Besi 92. In 1992, NDC Bisa wo said, moving from revolution stages, edeba a more democratic and civilian rule, will it be a good one? Say, wamobeko so ekura PNDC nimu announce say womonte political party foforo na womonfa go into the 1992 election. There were a lot of opinions a buyer because as at then there were a lot of political parties and there was a system name. PNC was there, the CPP was there, the National Convention Party was there, NCP. A honana aka eyo mo leader no. Okay? Then you have a certain Professor Kwesi Botwe, PV Obeng, okay, Captain Chikatamo from the NDC, saying, say, Chairman Rollins enya abotre na womonye research, enye survey, and sample Ghana for adwentre. And son won't be taking decision on that, won't take it. Okay? Because the earlier discussions were that Nanka womo pese PNDC in one party cry, but rather non ko be join the CPP. Na womo ni CPP no akabo. Now research ni be wie then PV Obemu were able to prove to Rollins say ye transition from PNDC. Na ye change ye ho dane ye ho eti political party fofra. E betimi aboa yen ama ye win election no. And Ghanaians will still accept us. And that was the origin of the NDC as a party. And yes, we mufiti prekopa. Anna Chairman Rollins decided that there be matemi NDC, intimidate NDC aba. Fast forward. One more decided on that one more NDC ni no. Okay? Chairman Rollins or President Rollins was the flag bearer of the party going into 1992. They needed a running mate. And our vice presidential candidate or be joining Rollins, ma womo go into that particular election. Womo kasi womo minds across. Then they realized that because there was an idea saying ka womo ni CPP for enkambomo, Professor Awunomo, okay, PV Obemo, womo ye CPP for originally. Womo je Kwame Nkrumah ideas. And an ideology no edi no. Says there be baby a NDC nedru no. To get a chance of winning 1992 no. As I said, one more back together. Now one more the other parties na kani na no eba on board. And one more the ba on board there, they can be able to find a running mate or be suitable for President Rollins. Now one more the winning sa election. Professor I won't no more agree from the CPP. At that time, not the NCP, the National Convention Party, led by Aka. Aka was so popular to an extent, they saw, Se woman no arm for me alliance obetumi aha adwen. Enti alliance ne formation no ebe mu no. Then the NCP for no the National Convention Party no suggested say sadia and your monfa aka emra meye President Rawlings running mate. That was the genesis of Aka becoming a vice president. Aka ebe vice president to President Rawlings, okay, from 1992, ekwa kosi 1997. You know, 96 there was an election, okay. Odi in the time ni nyina wo moko eba nyina yesi ntokwasi ye or the President Rawlings or koka bibi or cabinet President Rawlings born assume ni nyina kosi ye ni nyina no. The whole thing was that 1997 no wo wie ye no, okay. Then Atamos equally came because na Aka any President Rawlings wo montemo enwo. Now you ask yourself, say, how did Atamos come into the picture? As at the time, PV Obeng, Kofi Awonomo, okay, Professor Bochemo, one more fighting for the NDC, okay, one more decades, no, for me, cadres, and PV Obeng, a chairman of all the secretaries, you know. Professor Mills was not into politics. He was then a lecturer at the University of Ghana. As at the time, Professor Mills, a running mate, okay, a vice president, Ediama a year, your friend is saying, President Rawlings. Now are contesting for a vice chancellor position. Our University of Ghana, when winning. There was a time in history, President Rawlings, any Chachuchi Kata, the learned lawyer, Tukwain. Komodidi mua, ana ahoy if one wouldn't him woman when this mua. They say woman had the campaigns in the NDC, no. A suggested church chachu. Say there is a man or your learned professor. And he say NPP for no airbo NDC for chi. Say be woman nim woman. Okay? Woman suya dear, woman dear soldier, a bind woman pair a 2 or 3 any idea and woman pedia. To break that communication and that chain, no. Yankofa Professor Bimra, one no ye learned. Academia no ebejina tum se waka womo ho. Na yemfa ne vice president. Chachuchi Kata suggested the idea to President Rawlings. And then President Rawlings finally agreed. Now this is the trick. You realize that President Rawlings was from the Volta region. Aka was from the central region. Okay? So this time round, President Rawlings wanted somebody on free Volta region, on free central region. Now we'll be free other regions. Because no free say Aka disrespected. And he say, well, pay running mate and a vice president. I mean, won't come back to the central region. The Ahoys convinced President Rawlings to believe in that Professor Mills and Fantini. And that is the truth. So in President Rawlings' own mind, he didn't know, say, Atamos, no, Fantini. He knew, say, Atamos, Fantini. Until later when he became close to him and son all realized, he said, there was a level of deceit, baby. But that time, na niyama too late. Enti Volta Central, na ababe kaho for the history of the NDC. Then comes 2000. Swedro declaration. Okay? Rawlings Kopeja Atamos is said to be the candidate of the party. I mean, majority of the people were not happy. Because no more free say Guzitan no more PV more. As at the time, no, you did the PV ne Kwasiboche Professor Wono Moasia to the extent say people felt say one more free asante one more ban. Rawlings free what? They are the most powerful people. I won't bet me able to take over the party. It is idea yen sideline PV mo na encrophobia one more new crop Ben Rawlings, no, the power brokers. And you know the people I'm talking about. I mean, they are hoist. Then Professor Mills came. Because the whole idea, what the Professor Mills be a vice president was that one more be ensure say Professor Mills will become a president from the central region. And then upon the exit of Rawlings, the new face of the party ought to come from the central region because that is where they hail from. And one more year, yeah. Then Rawlings lifted Professor Mills in Surrey and was it Debbie. So my lifted one sadia, yes, uncle voter region. Okay? Na yen konko fa obeda sabwa. Rawlings candidate anu openo as a running mate to President Rawlings, to President Mills was Obeda Samoa. Nana Kunedu Ajima Rawlings accepted the same proposal. Then these same people came back to say that Debbie, that voice came back to say, so Debbie, who share dynamics now, who free voter, and Chebia na be president. When you free central, so are taking leadership in India. Yes, I call voter, echo for running mate, Eddie free hono more, and Bekwa Koese party no, Aya Fantifonia, and a phone quadia. It is idea, Yanfa Yani entry region fofro. And that was how come Obeda Samoa Mubufu ye in the party. Because they are not President Rawlings, Peno, Wamu Fano, Obeda Samoa, he was not selected. Anna Wamuko up north. Okay? Ekofa Martina Midu, Edene Baye. Now, everybody, all this one, a power play. The people are one of power brokers. For the party, they feel say at any point in time, they must decide Nipo be a running mate because they know say obviously, who be a running mate, na presidential candidate ni free while you are the next in line. Definitely, you better do no more grooming where we. So all the time, the power brokers will have control over you, and that is how come the Ahoys have become powerful in the NDC even up to today. I knew didn't come away. One more confirm Martinami Dubai, President Rawlings was not happy. Kunedu Ajima Rawlings was not happy. But in the party, when if you're Becca. Then they went into the election in 2000. And Wamulusuye. Kufuor won the election in 2000. Then coming into 2004 election. Okay, as a leader of the movement, Kessben, Martinami du Yensan Fan Nkobiem. President Mills said there be this time round, mempe Martinami du Biem. And Okofa large mumuni. As now large mumini a contested in 1996 as parliamentary candidate ewa tamale. Wamukofa no ede alaji momone buy for 2004 election. Etina adie no a transition, okay? I hoist no a make sure say party no a transition from the voter region no NDC nim say ho and the base of the party no a transition enti face no ababedi the central regions they say. It is idea we are going up north because we believe that the northerners, so to speak, are considered as the minority. And a woman called for a mumu ni dene buy in 2004. And also, woman call election no amfa. Then they had to change the vice presidential candidate again, which is the running mate. In 2008, a certain young John Dramani Mahama and woman sako hand peke no dene buy. So in 2000, it was central against Northern. Okay? President Mills as against, your friend is a Martin Amidu. President Mills as against Mumuni. President Mills as against a Northerner again. For 3 consecutive elections, Saniya running from 2000 to 2008. Anna Enonso Ebabekaho. Okay? So the party has shifted from the voter. This is Abedi Central. Then you come to 2012. 2008, President Mills said, John Mahama has become the vice president. The treatment, of course, so a castle Jubilee has needed a count now. We don't want to go there. But the fact is that make sure the trend may be a party in Ababedru say in terms of selecting a running mate and the people behind it. Anna Fofian Tuata, President Mills, in 2012. John Mahama ever spending a month na akano. People felt say as a then he was the most marketable person. Obetimi winning the 2012 election. Because already no na Ghanaians any sympathy for the NDC. It's President Mills who won into the currency. Then John Mahama becomes the presidential candidate again for the NDC. He now decides that because of their voice, he will still select somebody from the central region, okay, as his running mate. Then he goes in for Pakwesi Bekwin, Emisata. And what then buy? Wamu call 2012, one touch, and wamu winning. Coming into 2016, Bekwin, Emisata, and John Dramani Mahama on the same ticket. And wamu coin at this time round, wamu lusuye. Fofi and Twata, Nanado Danko Ekufuado Ababayemo in 2017. So it is also a central region person against an ordinary. So all this one, no, Akan tribes, Akasiani Nina Memu, it is just the fantasy. Okay? Asantini anu wa unity pa anu wa popular. PV Obemo were still there. Kwasibochemu were still there. Yet we didn't select any of them. You focus on central. Wamu wiye ye no mu lusu 2016. Fofi Antwata, Pakwesi Bekwin Emisa ata ni hobiem. NPP for ne say udi John Mahama anima a ehu, udi na chinso a ehu because the boss ko na be the chinso ko. That is what they say, but I mean on that side. Then you come to the year 2020. People would have felt say it was an opportunity for other people to come on board. Mahama still decided to go back to the central region and selected a certain professor, Jenna no Pokuajima, and what then buy. So the question is that the North, the Central, and the voter, are they the only people who constituted the NDC? Why is it that the NDC as a party cannot look beyond this particular region? Okay, the excuse is that Okobunua, national chairman every ho, as a then in 2020, okay, what was your national chairman every Eastern region? Okay, okay, what was it? Oh, women's organizer every Bono, oh, youth organizer every Eastern, and Tino Sadia, what about the people from the Ashanti region? What about the people from the Western region? Okay, what about the people from Oti region? Obeka said the same voter. I mean, what about the people from the Greater Accra region? In 2020 election, Joshua Alabi had become so popular and a well-respected person, and crime for Buno, who bet me the no rubber beer, yet we did not select him as a running mate. And he confirmed me then buy. The question is that, let me tell you something. The NDC for one name say, Sawufa Obi from the central region, Ubelusu or Ubelusu. Forget about the fact it says central region, a swing region. And you know, what to Obama that means who win national election. It is never true. The fact is that in terms of tribes, it was central region, no? Okay? You have so many tribes. Oh, then Trafo, who were Futu, okay? Those along the coastal belt of the central. Who called Dentra, who called Fosu. One more crowd won't believe it's one more Santefo. So what it means is that the central region as a region, and you're homogeneous. One when you know Kakasabako. Te said ya wukwa asante memua obi aka twi no asante twi no debi. So it is very difficult to convince the people of the central region. Say ya mamo running mate enti mo hweso na mo nto abamai. Okay? Now the point is that and then yedibesi ya mebana naso here. The point is that no matter what you do, Professor Jenna no Pokuajima any fault. Okay? She cannot convince the people of the central region. Look, in the year 2000 and 2004, it took the voter chiefs, voter region ahemfono, travel all the way about central region. Share the central regional chiefs. Say, Professor Monsfriha, Muntu Abamano. And when they did the term, at the power of fear, oye, ebai. It's where you're you should consider him and vote for him. Central region for Nyasa no Motu Mwaba. Say wait see her, wait free her, until you are so at to Abamano. The central region does not behave that way. They believe more in the nuclear family system, extended family nuclear, the uninformed. Until what the candidates, every free about 1,000 times. So one more year ready so better to Abamawa. Well, vice presidential candidate now was selecting the free one will not mean anything to the people of the central region. And that is the fact. If you check the records, they will tell you so. Professor no for central region. And so central for to Abama. It is not professor. Professor Anyehi. But that is the fact. So the question is that 8 successful elections. Northern Central, Northern Central, Northern Central, Northern Central, Volta Central. Why? Why go back to the Central region again in a 2024 crucial election? What is there? What has they got to offer the party? Okay? As we speak, minority leader is from the Central region. You don't need a vice presidential candidate from the Central region again. Not for anything. If you can tell us, say national chairman for Bono, national organizer for Asante, Etienne Asante region, and Konkofa running mate and free what, then you don't need a running mate from the Central region. Simple and here. You don't need it. Because it doesn't add up. You can go, or China Yaba, Yabema all the electoral figures. The regional basis analysis, especially for 2020. Now one who figures are a free all the regions, a buy. This is common sense advice. I mean, BDSC make can be. Or China Meba, I'll tell you more. Some of the personalities are involved because of political power. Play no, okay? And this, who is almost serious for power, but when is serious how? Because the course within no and for a play politics. They are looking at 2028 when they will be a presidential candidate after John Mahama. Because of that, they are not sitting down to realize, you 2024 we are. A bedroom number will be more popular. So when we need will be more popular. NPP for best the number. They are not thinking of that. They are thinking of when the best succeeded John Mahama. Into power plenty. Ye payenko fa ma menemra. Na John Mahama akwa no ni nyina akọ. Food for thought. Na na ma mi ti odienko.